Hey guys, I just want to give you a heads up that this is a special spooky edition of Tales from a Small Town Journalist. So, if you scare easily, you might want to skip this episode. Um, I'm kidding. Please don't skip this episode. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this unique episode of Tales from a Small Town Journalist. Normally, this podcast is strictly dedicated to all the hardworking people within community newspapers. Now, it still is, make no mistake. We just want to do something a little bit different this time. See, last month, my wife and I, we were able to go back for the first time in almost 2 years, honestly, to the Transworld Halloween Attractions Show in St. Louis, Missouri. And we wanted to share that with everybody. Now, a little bit of backstory here, actually a lot of backstory to this whole thing. This all goes back to, of all things, a Valentine's Day gift. I wanted to give my wife something unique for Valentine's Day that was uniquely us and that you don't normally get for Valentine's Day. And I figured the absolute best gift that I could give to her would be a second Halloween outside of the usual roses and chocolates. Now, make no mistake, I still gave her roses and chocolates. I'm not an idiot. But on top of that, I gave her a second Halloween, and that was the Transworld show. So, yeah, we went and we had a spectacular time. It was such a cool experience that naturally we wanted to go back, and it became a tradition. Every year for Valentine's Day, I would give Amanda roses, I'd give her chocolates, and I'd give her tickets to Transworld. And so each and every year we went back, and I was having as much of a good time as she was. So it was a gift that gave back to me as well. So we went every single year, right up, of course, until last year when COVID happened and Transworld was forced to cancel for that year. We were definitely disappointed. We were all bummed out. But I agreed with their decision. Any decision made for with the welfare of people in mind is a good decision. So kudos to them for that. We were sad, but we got it. Now, one of the things they did offer refunds to those who wanted it, but they also offered rain checks for the next show if and when it happened. Of course, we wanted to go back, and we had faith and optimism that eventually we would reach a point in this pandemic where we would get enough of it behind us and we could start doing all these things again. So we took the rain check option, and lo and behold, that brings us to this year when finally, even though it was delayed, normally this event happens in March, but they felt like in May it was safe enough to open the doors and welcome people back to the Transworld Halloween show. So yeah, we wanted to go back and we wanted to document all of our experiences there. So if you want to see photos, there's some places you can do it. We've got photo and video on all of our social media channels. I'll start with mine on my Twitter at @TheMattShore and on Instagram @TheShore. But the wealth of all of this is on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Shore Manor. So if you want to go check all that out, by all means, there's so much cool stuff that happened while we were there. We've got cool pictures, great video. Yeah, go check it out, like it, share it, tell your friends about it. Why don't you? But getting back to our documenting of it, we also put together kind of a audio video journal of our times there. So, and in addition to that, I was able to connect with some of the vendors and get some short interviews with them talking about what they do for a living and what their experience was like at the show. So a lot of really cool interactions that we had, and we were able to document all of that. And so that's what we wanted to share. That's what I wanted to dedicate this episode to. So that's a lot of lead in. That's a whole lot of prologue, but it's pretty important so that we know what's going on. But anyway, now that that's all out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. Let's switch gears now. And I'll give you the first journal entry that Amanda and I did on our way to Transworld. Okay, I am on the road with my most special of all guests, the Fay Ray to my King Kong, the Morticia to my Gomez, Clarksville, Tennessee's official Queen of Halloween, my beautiful wife, Amanda Shore. I did this big long intro, and I get nothing from you for this.
I was waiting for you to be done. I didn't want to be rude.
Fair enough. I can feel the love. That's right. Anyway, we're on the road, as you can probably tell. I probably hear the audio from the car. We're on our way to St. Louis for the Transworld Halloween Attractions Celebration. There's a little bit of backstory to this. I'm going to try to make sure I get all of it right. For those who know, and if anybody's listened to this podcast for a while, they're probably pretty aware, I started getting Amanda tickets to Transworld as a Valentine's gift every year. And we've gone twice at this point, am I right?
I think so. Twice.
Two times. And it was going to be the third, because I buy the tickets in advance, but then COVID happened. And last year's celebration was canceled, so we didn't go. However, they were good enough to rain check all those tickets forward. They kept pushing it back until they felt comfortable and felt like people were safe. And so they ended up setting the date for the first weekend of May, which brings us to where we are today. We felt like we're vaccinated. We're about as safe as we can be, we think, so I guess it's still technically a little bit risky, but we feel like we can do it. Are you feeling comfortable?
Yeah. We have our masks, and we'll be staying as far apart from people as possible. So we are both fully vaccinated too. So
yeah, that helps. And we have a stowaway with us. Rowan's going to be coming with us. This is actually, you could say, Rowan's second time going, because we smuggled her in the first time too.
The second time we went, I was 32 weeks pregnant with Rowan. So we got lots of comments about if I was going to go into labor on the showroom floor, and I was like, not that big yet, but thank you for noticing. To comments about, are you going to go into labor on Halloween? Are you doing Halloween? And was like, definitely way too big to be due that late in the year.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because that was back when the show was in March, so it would have been another, 8 months?
It's been a while, yeah. But I was very definitely pregnant, and there's a photo, if you follow us on Facebook, our Shore Manor page, there's a photo of me standing looking at a skeleton that Matt took from the side that I didn't know he took.
I'm still getting in trouble for that picture.
You can see the bump there. It's not a bad picture, but I just didn't know he was taking it.
I thought it was an adorable picture, personally. But maybe I'm biased.
Because I was looking at a skeleton, not because I was pregnant.
Oh, that hurts my feelings. Anyway.
No, I'm saying that's why you thought it was adorable.
Well, it was both, because it was a skeleton and it was you.
No, not our child.
I just can't win with this.
Nope. I'm not going to let that happen. It wouldn't be me.
Well, anyway, this is going to be an interesting experience, because technically you're not supposed to take any children under the age of 16 to this show, but in the past we've seen people with little bitty ones in strollers, so we're hoping that
they'll let us in. Like, we're kind of worried about it, but for all you mamas out there, Rowan is still nursing at night, so that is why she is coming with us and not Callum. It's not because she's the favorite or anything like that. It's that nobody else can get her to sleep, and we thought that would be very mean to leave her with the grandparents for a weekend, not having a way to get her to sleep. So she does not take a pacifier. She just wants mama. So
yes, and on top of that, Callum is as we do this, he's 5 years old. I think that's right at the age that they would notice and would probably say, yeah, he can't come in. So.
Oh yeah, well no, he would not be still. He would be running everywhere. I mean, he loves Halloween just as much as we do, and he'd be so excited.
I think he would, yeah.
Yeah, and then there is the reason why they don't allow anyone under the age of 16 is because of the graphic nature of some of this stuff, and there are literally like naked people who just get painted while they're there.
Yes.
And like completely naked.
Yes,
people.
it is
and
quite.
It's very
Yeah, those.
I mean, I don't know if there will be anybody like that this year because of COVID, but
I don't know. We'll see. They're a bold bunch, but that and the gory graphic attractions, I guess, doesn't really appeal to us. We like the more
like the animated props.
The word I say is creative, but I hesitate to say that because I feel like that's being dismissive of the others, because the others are certainly creative, but what we like is more, I guess, otherworldly.
We don't
just out there kind of stuff.
For so many people, Halloween is about as much blood and guts and gore as you can get, and we just don't find it scary. Like, it's really kind of gross.
Yeah,
and
I don't
like that's why we don't really do haunted houses, and
well, that's why you don't do haunted houses.
I don't do haunted houses because I can't handle people in my face.
And her not doing haunted houses is why I'm not allowed to do haunted houses.
You can go. I'm just not going with you.
Yeah, but
you and Drew, you guys can go, and Shelly and I will take care of the kids.
Are there any near us? I'd have to go all the way to Nashville now.
Yeah, you have to go to Nashville.
But yeah, didn't make it.
So, anyways, but we like to go. There's lots of, we like to see, of course, there's all kinds of skeletons people do, and the different ways they corpse them and everything.
There's a great picture we have made the last one we went to with like a 35-foot tall Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That was really
cool. That was cool.
That was right there in the lobby when we first got there. That was pretty awesome. They've had giant, one even had like a full-size dragon puffing smoke out of its nostrils.
Yeah, that was cool. Like, those are the kinds of things we enjoy seeing and hope to someday on a much smaller scale, obviously, incorporate in our haunt.
Someday.
Let's see, the last time we went, somebody had a Zoltar, which is like my favorite thing ever.
They did. I forgot about that.
We stood in line for like 20 minutes for me to get a picture with this Zoltar. I want a Zoltar so bad. And I enjoy seeing the werewolves. Werewolves are really like my favorite kind of monster. So I enjoy seeing what kind of werewolf props they have, and animated or not. So
I don't know if it's a favorite, but the ones that I like are the ones that they don't fall into any category. It's just whatever somebody was able to come up with. Just how bizarre or weird, or even it might even be alien. Just those are the ones I really dig. I like those. Those are cool.
I'm all about the skeletons and the werewolves. There was a really cool like Frankenstein head. Frankenstein is my favorite like universal monster. I love the Wolfman as well, but Frankenstein's definitely my favorite that we got a picture of. It's just this big head, like I guess you can put candy in it. I don't really even remember what it was for, but that was really cool one year. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of the theme is. It seems like every year there's like an unwritten theme, which the first year we went was like headless women.
Yeah, what was that all about?
Yeah, that was weird, but like almost every booth had some kind of mannequin prop that was a headless woman dressed in her underwear, all bloody and gross. And so anyways, that was kind of a bummer. But the second year we went, it was Krampus. Everybody had their own version of Krampus. So it'll be interesting to see.
It'll be fun.
What happens this year.
I really look forward to it. I'm wearing my Freddy versus Jason t-shirt.
He's ready to go.
I am. There's a little bit of backstory to this Freddy versus Jason. This store, I got this at an advanced screening of Freddy versus Jason, believe it or not. When I still lived in St. Louis at the time when that film came out, I got to go see it a full week in advance. And when I found those advanced tickets, you better believe I ran out the door so that I could go see that bad movie. But they were giving away shirts there, and I got one dedicated to my favorite of the two. And can you guess who my favorite is?
I want to say it's Jason.
It's Freddy.
Oh, well, you met Jason. Weren't you wearing that shirt when you met Jason in Nashville?
Nashville.
What's his name? Kane?
Oh,
something?
Kane Hodder. Yes, I briefly met Kane Hodder.
You did.
No, I wasn't wearing my Freddy versus Jason shirt at the time.
I thought you were.
No, that was wearing my Evil Dead shirt. Actually.
Oh.
I don't have that one anymore. It's just too bad. But this one has some sentimental value, though. So
There you go. Of course, tomorrow we will be decked out in Shore Manor gear, so.
gotta represent, yes. So anyway, but we'll check in then. Right now, we're gonna focus on the road. Okay, I'm talking to Chad and Adrian Larry from Bixby Studios. Thanks for joining me, guys. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you joining me. My wife and I really got a kick out of your booth. She especially liked the life-sized, fairly handsome, I got to say, Frankenstein monster that you guys had set up there. He was a little bit of a heartthrob compared to so many of the other monsters there.
We based it off Adrian. That's what the sculpture's based on.
Oh, this got awkward.
I think he's lying.
Well, anyway, it was so cool finally getting to go back to Transworld. My wife and I have gone every year for several years now, and it was really cool to get to go back. And we've always done a sort of podcast, I don't know, audio, video journal of our time there. So this time, since we all got to go back for the first time, I wanted to connect with some of the folks who were actually there. So I wanted to connect with you guys, and you guys, for good or ill, agreed to do this with me. So thanks for that.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate it. But let's start with Bixby Studios. I want to hear about how this got started.
It got started in 2009 or 10. I don't recall the exact date, but I was working in the entertainment industry in Ohio for a while. And then I ended up moving back to West Virginia, where I'm originally from. And my wife and I started Bixby Studios. And then shortly after we had started, we ran into Adrian. He's been a longtime friend and also been in the entertainment industry for a long time. And we just kind of partnered up, and that's how the company was basically born.
Very cool. That's how it's always kind of unforeseen circumstances, isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny how that worked out. Yeah, I had another company at the time, and that had kind of petered out, and Chad had just gotten back into town for a year or two, so we just kind of
very cool.
We needed stuff to do, so here we are making poor life decisions.
Right there with you. So tell me about Transworld. Are you like my wife and I? Have you guys been regulars there, or was this your first time? Or
technically, this was our third year. It would have been our fourth. We did Midwest Haunt Con for years.
Okay.
Before that, and I had done it for years before that, and it just got to a point where we needed to make that next step. So
okay, cool. Well, it's been sort of a delay for a lot of us because of the pandemic. They had to cancel last year, and rain checked a lot of people's registrations over to this year, which incidentally, I thought that was very cool that they did that. And when I realized that we could go again this year, we immediately started trying to find some way to get the kids taken care of so that we could go back. And we made that happen, and it was a great time. It was so cool to be back. So, but what was your experience because we're there as attendees, just looking around and having a great time. You guys are in the trenches doing the work. What was it like going back after almost 2 years?
It was fun. First and foremost, we had a really good time doing it. Very different atmosphere, considering the pandemic. We weren't really sure what to expect, but it ended up being a really, really good show. It was pretty well attended. I think the attendance was definitely down a little bit from the previous years, but that's to be expected. But there were a ton of vendors there, a lot of exhibitors. So it was really good. It was really good to be back, or I thought so. What do you think?
Yeah, I had a great time too. It was kind of touch and go there. We were kind of waiting to see if they were going to have it. I think this has to be one of the first conventions that's popping up, I would assume. I think there was one the week before, but I don't know if there's any before that. So
it's actually the first one that my wife and I have gone back to since this all started. So yeah, it was. So maybe, hopefully, this is the beginning of us doing this a bit more often again. I miss going to stuff like this.
Yeah, we were excited to come and be part of it. Be part of that convention that's going to hopefully help usher in more conventions and kind of get the ball rolling for the industry and other industries and conventions as well. So it was exciting to be a part of it for that reason alone. But
yeah, as far as working it, I mean, it's got its pluses and minuses. You always get you get there early and you get to set up and you get to go see your friends and you get to go see all the cool new stuff before everybody gets to see it. And then you can't leave for 4 days. You have to stay in your booth. So
I've wondered about that.
Yeah, see more things, but yeah, I never get to see the whole convention. I didn't even get to see the Christmas stuff this year, which is disappointing because it was fun a few years ago. So.
The Christmas stuff, I gotta say, was impressive. And it almost like where they put it, I looked at Amanda at one point. Amanda's my wife, and I said, did they lower the temperature here on purpose in this room so that it would feel more like Christmas? Because I swear it was colder in that room than the main one. But yeah, it all looked great. If I weren't looking at that right next to a bunch of Halloween decorations, I would have really been impressed. But the whole time I'm looking at it, I just in my head, I'm like, oh, the Halloween stuff's back there. How long till we get back? So make sure I see everything. I felt bad about that because
yeah,
it was good looking stuff, and you can tell they put a lot of heart and work into it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to go over and see the Christmas stuff. I wish I had a opportunity to do that, but like we're saying, when you're working a booth, you tend to get stuck in the booth while you're there. It's hard to get away from it.
I've not worked conventions as big as this one, so I don't have your experience, but my extremely humble small scale conventions that I've been a part of, yeah, I feel your pain there. Whenever I have a table, that's where I'm at, and that's where I spend the entire day. I'm exhausted afterwards, even though I haven't moved.
Yeah.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Well, this really was everything. This was a brief interview. I know. I just wanted to talk to some folks on the business side of things, which I haven't had any personal experience with Halloween convention. So I wanted to check in with some folks actually at this convention. So once again, I appreciate it. Is there anything else about Bixby Studios you want to make sure and mention? Do you have any plugs you'd like to mention? Website, email, social media, whatever?
Well, you can find us on Facebook and on Instagram. We're an all-inclusive studio as far as the work goes. We do all our own sculpting, mold making, casting, and paint jobs. We do custom work. And we're not just limited to the haunt industry as well. We also do museum work, city sculptures. So we kind of do a little bit of anything. If you can think it up, we can do it for you.
Very cool. And I have not been paid to say this. Your stuff does look great. So yeah, I recommend it to anybody who catches this.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, good talking to you. Thanks.
All right, I want to say thank you to Clint Cobb from the Halloween Shirt Company, one of the vendors that we connected with at the Transworld show. Clint, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks very much for joining me. We talked a little bit about this before we started this interview about how I read the story of your company on your website, and I just really wanted to hear that directly from the people themselves. So tell me a little bit about the Halloween Shirt Company and how you guys came to be where you're at.
Okay. We started the company back at the beginning of 2019. Prior to that, we had been in the costume shop business or Halloween store business for about 15 years. And, prior to selling off the costume business in 2018, we had got into screen printing back a few years ago. And a couple of years prior to closing the costume shop, we thought, hey, we're going to throw a couple of Halloween themed designs, in the store and see how it goes. And to our surprise, it went really well. And like I said, at the end of 2018, the costume shop was not doing so well, so we sold it off and really didn't get serious about the Halloween Shirt Company until about a month before Transworld 2019. That we just thought, hey, okay, let's give this a shot. Let's go to Transworld, see what happens. And it went really well, and so here we are.
Okay, so was this your second visit to Transworld then?
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay, so how did this one go?
It went really well. It was really good. I mean, we were just busy the entire time, and it was really surprising because we didn't really know what to expect coming off the pandemic year, but yeah, it was a real big surprise for us.
Okay, great. Because I think I asked your wife about that when I bought a shirt. I'll throw out a plug. I'm not getting paid for this at all, but it's a fantastic shirt. So and it was hard to pick one because you guys had so many really good ones. So I'll just say, everybody check out their website, Halloween Shirt Company. Really cool shirts there. There's a lot of vintage ones, which are great. Some with some cool, just the one that I got is it's got kind of a Grim Reaper wraith, like he's trick-or-treating in a graveyard. That one spoke to me. I had to get that one.
Graveyard. That's the one.
Yeah, I really like that one. That one was good. So that's the one I have. I sported that one all the way home. I was proud of that shirt.
Right.
So there's my cheap plug for you there. But was there anything about Halloween that drew you guys in, or was it just sort of experimenting to see what people would buy?
I mean, as far as T-shirts go, when we first got started, we just, like I said, we had a couple of designs just to kind of throw out there. And, they were nothing special, nothing fancy, just really basic. And people like them. People come in the store, the week before Halloween or the day of Halloween, and they don't want to buy a costume. Well, hey, they just bought a T-shirt. So from that point on, it just kind of morphed into, more T-shirts, more designs, and it's gone really well so far.
Cool. So my wife and I try not to ever miss Transworld. So, pandemics permitting, we plan to resume going on an annual basis. Should we look for you guys each and every time we're there?
Yeah. And what's fun about Transworld is that I've been on the other side too. We used to go all the time just to be going, when we had the Halloween store, just to look around and see what was out there. So it's fun to be on the other side this time.
Yeah. What's that like? Because I've only been on the side where I'm walking around. For me, I imagine if I were rooted to one table, I would probably get sort of, I don't know, claustrophobic or antsy because I want to go see all the cool stuff people have out there. Were you guys able to trade shifts or whatever to maintain sanity in that sense?
Well, we were basically at the booth the entire time. We really didn't get a chance to get out and go look around. Now we did look around, before hours a little bit, but as far as during show floor hours, we did not really have a chance to get out. We were just so busy, which is a good thing.
It's a good problem. Yeah. Well, the times I walked by, it seemed like you guys always had a line where
it was.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Like I said, that's a great problem to have.
Yes, it is.
Well, cool. Like I said, I hope we can keep going. I hope that we're working towards some normalcy and we can go back to these conventions on a consistent basis. And I hope to see you guys again there. That would be great. I'll look for you and your wife.
Well, yeah, we appreciate you stopping by the booth, and we appreciate you having us on.
Hey, anytime. Is there anything else you want to say about your business as far as websites, social media, any plugs? Want to give you a chance to put that out there?
Yeah, you can just visit us, HalloweenShirtCompany.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook. Just check us out. I mean, we're bringing new stuff out all the time, and we're always updating social media to let our followers know what we got coming out.
All right. Well, great. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you taking some time. This was really kind of short notice how we put this together.
Hey, that's all right. We appreciate it.
We're inside a hearse while we're alive.
That's incredibly cool. This is we're actually at the convention right now. It's been really awesome, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this place every year they don't disappoint. It's a little bit sparse, but I think that's because of the COVID pandemic going on.
And having the show in a different climate.
Yeah, but everyone is here. I think the enthusiasm is here. It's a little more subdued than in the past, but
there's
we're
more
getting
live actors for the props than normal. Like a prop plus a live actor to make the whole thing work.
yeah, but
It's very cool.
yeah, and we're coming back. I think that's what's important. But I want to make sure and mention the hearse we're sitting in, because this was really cool that they're letting us do this. This is Kirby Farms ScaryTrain.com, Florida's most unique haunted attraction. This particular hearse is part of a raffle giveaway that they were doing. Somebody actually already won, so we unfortunately can't get this one. But it goes to charity, it goes to a very good cause, and they were kind enough to let us record in here. So check out their website, give them a thumbs up on every social media thing you can, those of you who listen to us. And, but yeah, tell all your friends. But yeah, this it's great coming back. There was a little bit of concern when we first got here. We had one person tell us we wouldn't be able to bring in Rowan, but
Because technically you're not allowed to bring a child under the age of, this year they lowered it to 10, but it's usually 16. So.
yeah. But nobody else made any kind of fuss, so we're in. So, and we've gone through most everything. So what are they going to do now, right? But yeah, it's been great. It's been a great morning. There's still more to see, and if we can catch up with any other of the exhibits, we'll definitely try to do that. This is a real treat. I knew Amanda would get a kick out of being in the back of a hearse.
So excited. I was very upset when I realized probably the only time I've ever been in a hearse is when I did. So I'm so excited.
That's my wife, everybody. Okay, so I'm chatting with Blake Phillips now from Toxic FX, one of the vendors over at Transworld this year. Blake, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for doing this. I'm sure you have a real busy schedule, so I appreciate you taking some time out of your weekend to do this with me.
Oh, no problem at all.
So Blake heads up Toxic FX, which is I want to say props, but I'm sure there's so much more to it than this. So tell us about all that Toxic FX does.
Yeah, so we make props, masks, little novelties like the baby boos that everybody loves, staffs. We pretty much make anything and everything when it comes to monsters for theme parks, haunted attractions, retail stores, you name it, we do it.
Is Baby Boo, because that one, I noticed a lot of people fawning over that when I was there. Is that one of your most popular items?
Aside from the rotten pumpkins, yeah, definitely.
The rotten pumpkins, I remember those. Those were a hit too.
Those went insane.
Well, tell us about how Toxic FX came to be.
Well, I started into the haunted attraction industry when I was about 12, 13 years old. Started working at a haunted house then and loved it, fell in love with it from the first day. But I've always been drawn to the masks and wondering how they were going to be made. And when I started doing my research, I ran across a company called Distortions Unlimited. And I think everybody in the world knows who that is. It's in the industry. So the more research I'd done, the more I figured out how to properly make masks. And that's what I originally started out with. So in 2011, we came out officially with Toxic Effects. Just started out in just a small area working on masks, trying to sell a few here and there to see how it would go. Then later on throughout the years, we started branching out into props and everything else that we do now. So, and it's just been a wild ride.
Very cool. Living the dream.
Yeah.
The American dream. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
So Transworld, we talked about this before we started recording, but tell me again, you guys are regulars there. Is that right?
Yep, that's right. This is our fourth year. This
Okay.
past show was our fourth time.
So how did you get started going to Transworld? How did you discover them?
I had been going a couple years beforehand, and really when I went to that show at the time, we were running a haunted attraction. So it was just to enhance that attraction itself. I wasn't even thinking about, trying to improve Toxic Effects at all. It was just something, like a little hobby that I wanted to do that I enjoyed doing. But as the years started going on, Toxic Effects started growing and it got bigger and bigger, and eventually where we had to shut that attraction down and just focus on Toxic Effects. So when we started shifting over to that, I was thinking, okay, maybe it's time to start becoming a vendor. So I talked to several people like Ed Edmonds from Distortions Unlimited, Alan Hops, and several others, and they gave me a bunch of amazing advice on how to get started. And, we just went from there.
Very cool. So as most people know right now, Transworld last year, they had to cancel the whole event entirely because of the pandemic. I think that's pretty unprecedented. And the thing they were able to do that was fairly cool. They rain checked tickets for those of us who had registered. And so my wife and I, we've gone every year. It's actually my Valentine's gift to her every year, to buy her a ticket to go visit Transworld. It's like a second Halloween because we are such fanatical Halloween fans. But since we had that, we held on to it, and we found out they were doing it again. We were like, yeah, we're glad we held on to those tickets. So what was your experience like from your end? What was it like coming back after being away for really almost 2 years, if you count all the time between?
We were excited and we were nervous all at the same time, because we were obviously excited to be back to see all of our friends and everybody, everything just back up and running on the show. But, we really didn't know how it was going to go. And I don't think anybody did. We were having high hopes that everybody was going to show up, that not everybody was going to be nervous about being there. And, it just exceeded our expectations. I mean, it just exploded. And that's probably, in my opinion, one of the best shows that I've ever been to. Even with the show and the aisles being spread apart, it just seems like there were so many more people there than we've ever seen. And, a couple of the heads of the show were saying that they were reaching record numbers before the show even started. And I believe it because I've seen it. It was an amazing show, and I was very happy to be back.
That's good to hear. We were only able to go one day, and when my wife and I went on, it was the Saturday, and
Okay.
they had a good turnout that day. So it's good to hear that other days they did well too.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Anything else that you'd like to tell us about Toxic FX? Like any plugs you want to make, website, social media, whatever, make sure people know how to reach you if they need a rotten pumpkin, a baby boo, or anything else really cool.
Sure. Well, I've had several people already reach out to me asking about the Rotten Pumpkins, asking how they can place an order. And right now we've had to stop all orders on Rotten Pumpkins just because of the sheer volume of orders that we've had. Just rest assured, I'm getting them to you as fast as I can so I can open up more opportunities for you to order even more. Everybody was happy with the 5 versions that we have. We're going to be coming out with more. I know a lot of people had asked, and they're asking for larger versions, so we're going to be doing that as well. I think next year's Transworld show is going to be something that's going to get a lot of attention with us here at Toxic Effects. The baby boos, there were people asking about their baby boos. Your baby boos are coming, most definitely. So I think that's the biggest thing, the baby boos, the rotten pumpkins. That's the biggest subject. All the messages that I get have been rotten pumpkins and baby boos. So we're working on them as fast as we can. We've told everybody with the rotten pumpkins 2 to 4 months. Realistically, my goal, and I think everybody's goal that would be a vendor, would be to get them to you sooner than that. So that's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to pretty much step it into overdrive, make as many molds as we can so we can pump out as many pumpkins as we can to get them to everybody. Because, if I order something and somebody told me 2 to 4 months and I get it in a couple of weeks, hey, that'd be great, right?
There you go.
Right. So right now, when you visit us on our website, it's www.toxiceffectsproductions.com. Again, you'll see that our rotten pumpkins are sold out. But they will be back up and running here soon, hopefully. So we are definitely trying our best. We also have an Instagram and Facebook. Both of them, you can just look up Toxic Effects. We just got a brand new logo made. I wish I had something to show you, but everything's pretty much just on my phone. But you'll see that when you look us up, and it's pretty much looking the same as our old logo. But the guys over at Sinister Visions did an amazing job at redoing our logo, and we are very, very happy with it. And we're going to be coming out with some t-shirt designs and all that good stuff as well.
All right. Well, it all looks great. Yeah, the baby boos, the pumpkins, that I was there to see them firsthand. They look fantastic, and I like the Scotty from Star Trek strategy you're employing there. Like multiply how long it'll take by 4. That way, you're always known as a miracle worker. So very good. But yeah, so yeah. Everyone out there, for whatever my word is worth, be patient. It'll be well worth it once it all arrives. This is not a massive Walmart conglomerate putting stuff together. These are just some guys that love what they do.
That's right. I mean, Amazon kills us because, everybody orders something through Amazon, then the next day they have it. So
Yeah,
it's tough, but, I'd love to get to that point one day. And I think next year we're going to be even more prepared and have some stuff set back so you can get your stuff even faster. So we're definitely going to see a lot of big changes.
the Amazon doesn't give it that personal touch that you guys do, though, right?
Yeah, right.
There you go. Okay. Well, this was a great chat. Once again, I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time, and I do hope you have a good rest of your weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you. You too.
All right, we're nearing the end of our spooky podcast recap. There's one more journal entry that Amanda and I made as we were traveling home, and we will get to that in just a moment. But before we do that, I'm going to quick shift gears for just a quick second here, do some quick cheap plugs. I promise this won't take too long. We plugged all the other folks, so we definitely have to plug ourselves. So 1 second here. Just make sure that you guys know this podcast is part of Shore Manor Studio, which you can find on Facebook and on YouTube. Please look us up there and like, follow, and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Shore Manor and on YouTube by going to tinyurl.com/Shore Manor YouTube. All of this show's episodes are there in their entirety and now with video. So check that out. You can also sign up for our official newsletter at tinyurl.com/Shore Manor newsletter, where you'll be the first to hear about announcements, discounts, and giveaways. So, don't miss that. And you can look us up on our official website at www.mattshore.net, where you'll find this and previous episodes all archived in their entirety. Just click on the podcast link at the top of the page. And finally, if you'd like to connect with me directly, you can find me on Twitter at @TheMattShore and on Instagram at The Shore. And if you're old school, you can send me an email at mattshore@hotmail.com. So now that that's all out of the way, we'll shift gears to capture Amanda's final thoughts and my final thoughts as we were on the road heading away from the Transworld celebration. It was a great time, and we really hope to do it again. So signing off and kicking back over to our last journal entry. And we are on the road. It is the day after the convention. I had hoped to do a closing wrap-up video in our hotel room that night, but we were too tired. We were tired and everybody went to bed. So yeah, we just took it easy this morning. Now we're driving home, and so now we're going to do our closing thoughts. What did you think about the whole thing, darling?
So I enjoyed it, of course. We met some really cool people and got our picture in the hearse, which I absolutely love. Pretty much the theme for this year seemed to be clowns. I think everyone had clowns. There were multiple clown actors. It's really sad. There were no werewolves.
I saw one, and it was just a statue. That was it.
Yeah, there was one that was an animatronic, but I think it was only top part of the body up. So it was really kind of sad. They did have their shirt from what should have been last year, the Transworld shirt. They make one every year. It did have a werewolf on it. We did not buy one this year though, because when we were on our way back out, Rowan was just done for the day. So we did get shirts. Matt's wearing his, I'm wearing mine. We'll take a picture and add it to Shore Manor, the homepage, if you guys want to see them. His has got
a wraith.
Is it like a wraith, and he's holding a jack-o'-lantern, I think. And
it's actually like a trick-or-treat bucket, shaped like the old ones that kids carry around.
Yeah, but it's a jack-o'-lantern though, isn't it?
It's a jack-o'-lantern bucket, but it's like a candy bucket though. That I realized that after I got it, which makes me like it all the more. It's this spooky image, but he's got this little kid's trick-or-treat pail.
And mine says Haunter, so it's like a baseball t-shirt, which are my favorite. I love baseball t-shirts.
Got a lot of inspiration from this one.
We did. I told Matt actually it might have been a mistake coming because I have so many more projects now after coming for Shore Manor than before, and I already had plenty before. So
we're not going to reveal these now, but you got a bunch of t-shirt ideas too.
I do have a bunch of t-shirt ideas.
We may actually start our own humble little t-shirt line if we can pull that off. That'd be fun.
We'll see. But I do have lots of ideas for t-shirts. Lots of cool t-shirts this year. Of course, I always have lots of neat ones, but one of my favorites, I almost got this one. Sorry. Said, I can't, it's haunt season.
Yeah.
Because I loved that one. And then ultimately I went with the Haunter shirt. I did like the Transworld shirt. I almost got that one too because I had the werewolf on it. But yeah, so interesting. I felt like this year was a lot less gory than normal.
It was. You're right. It was there, but it was much less.
But there was a lot less. But also, it was a lot smaller. Not as many people, not as many booths.
It was a little subdued. I suspect some of that was to encourage encourage social distancing,
Probably.
which is good. That's not a complaint. The attitude was a bit subdued, but I think that's just because we're still we're not out of the pandemic yet, so people are still. I just think that affects your psyche a little bit.
Definitely did ours. I mean,
we're getting there. We're going to get past it, and maybe by next year we'll be like full enthusiastic swing again. But it was good that it was back, even though it was a little subdued. It was good that it was cool to be there.
And it was actually nice because a lot of times, if you've ever gone to a Transworld show, you'll know this. It's very claustrophobic, and I mean, even we had Rowan with us this year, and we had a stroller, and so I felt bad because I felt like we were always in people's way. But I'm glad that if we had to bring one of our kids one year, it was this year when there wasn't as many people on the floor, not as many booths on the floor. So, and I don't know if we mentioned this or not, but they kind of combined this with like the Christmas show, so we actually did get to see a bunch of the Christmas light displays and stuff too.
I feel kind of guilty. I didn't take any pictures.
Yeah,
of that.
I've
And
got
it was
some
impressive.
on like my Marco Polo to my mom and dad and my sister, so we maybe can pull some off of that.
I talked to
But
Amanda and I were talking about that after the fact. While I was in there, I felt really bad because everything in there was so impressive. The Christmas decorations.
it really
And,
was.
I thought, like, if this were Christmas time and this was all that was in here, I would be wowed
We'd
and
be
amazed
super
by all
excited.
this. But it just hurts that, like, as amazing as it all is, I know that the Halloween stuff is just outside. It's like, I want to get back out there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's, I told them, like, that's okay because there are probably more people in the world that Christmas is their, like, jam versus Halloween.
no.
So it's okay if you're
Stop
not
your lies.
super excited for that. I mean,
Wow.
it's kind of fun to go against the grain, I think,
I
and
guess we do, don't we?
be more into Halloween than Christmas. So,
But it was a good time. There was some cool displays, cool props.
yeah, very neat props. Check out the picture of me with the Frankenstein this year. I'm so excited about that guy. That was super cool.
I got some great video too that we've already shared. One highlight for me was the organ, an actual functioning pipe organ that shot flames out of the pipes.
That was really cool.
That was amazing. What were some of the other really cool standouts like that? There's this big gargoyle looking ghoul that was like 10 feet tall and 10 feet wide. It was enormous. Then there was like a shark that popped out of a wall.
The
That
shark,
was fun.
that was cool. They had a lot of that stuff this year. There was the shark that came out. There was a plant that came out. I don't know if we got video of this or
I
not,
did.
but there was like I know you got the plant. There was like some kind of a crab or
It was a grasshopper.
grasshopper.
And I did get video
It was
of that.
green that
Yeah, 'cause
came out too.
He nipped at my foot, so I immediately started shooting that guy.
We also had some fun photo bombs. It wasn't actually a photo. It was Matt was taking a video, and the guys from the booth kind of came up behind. That was really funny.
Well, it was supposed to be a photo, but the guy who I handed my phone to didn't know that I hadn't yet switched it back to photo. So it's sort of his fault, but also I guess kind of my fault. So
Well, but honestly, it makes it like I think it's kind of funnier because you can see them sneaking up in the background. It's really funny. I was sitting there laughing the whole time because I had Rowan and I kind of tried to keep her away from stuff I thought would freak her out, and so she got scared a couple of times, but it wasn't too bad.
did she really? I wasn't paying attention.
She was when we first walked in, she was kind of freaked out, and then when we headed to the dark room, which Matt has video of, like the big flying wraith thing.
Yeah, we were cautious.
It wasn't in there that she was really scared. It was on the way because the way that this, what am I trying to say? Not really conference, but show, I guess. The way this convention is that most of the really loud props are set up at the very end of the room, so we always go that way and we watched all the props, and she was okay after that. And there was a really nice guy, I wish I knew who he was so I could give him a shout out, that was handing out these like glow sticks things, and he gave her one of those and she loved it. There's another guy that gave her a little like prototype of some kind of like alien worm thing that he made, and I felt bad she didn't really want it because she's super girly, but he gave it to her anyway, so but that was really sweet. Most people were well, really everyone was super sweet to her and told her how cute she was, and she met a couple of guys, a couple of clowns and the zombie, and
Seems happy to see that zombie.
yeah, go figure. Our kids, Callum, the first person he ever high-fived that wasn't us or a family member is that zombie guy in Salem. We still got that picture up.
Yep.
So same with Ro. Our kids love Halloween. It's just in our DNA. So
Apparently. I'm not sure where it came from because neither one of our parents are quite as into it as us.
yeah, not really. I mean, they don't like hate it, but they don't. It's definitely not the level that we go to.
No, this is true. Very few people at the level that we go to.
Well, yeah, that's what's fun about it. We like being those people, and that we like creating that experience for other people. So
Yeah, this was a good place for it. It inspired a lot of cool ideas that
hopefully we can
put together
deliver on in the future. So
already had some ideas for this year's Halloween decorations, so
Yeah.
I don't know if we can add to it or not, but we definitely got some new
we'll
ideas
see.
over there.
Yeah, definitely. So
But yeah, so great time. Transworld Halloween Attractions. So glad it's back. Maybe now they can start going annually once again, and it's another way to get back toward normalcy. And yeah,
and if you've never gone before, we highly recommend it, even if you're just like us, who are just classified as enthusiasts.
yeah, we're on the cusp of becoming like semi-pseudo professionals, but we are still not there yet.
And feel free to order a Charmander shirt to wear while you go.
Yeah, go do that. Absolutely. I encourage you guys to do